made for podcasting.
Talk to me, Goose.
Well, we're out here. I'm like, it's Top Gun and Top Fun this week on the Buddy Shots podcast. I've been through hell. And my goose is cooked.
Jesus.
Just like the character. Spoiler alert.
You almost died like Goose.
Yep. I fucking burned up in a plane.
Sorry to hear that.
But I kept my name. It's like, wait, what? Goose died and they're like, change his name. It's like, Sorry to hear.
Top Gun week.
It's true. This is episode 172. What'd you think about? Well, you're the one that had seen him before. What am I talking about? I'm like, what'd you think? You're like, not true.
Like you said, I had top fun during Top Gun week.
What'd you think when I picked these?
I was a little bit surprised because it's not quite your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
As much, but also Top Gun Maverick, the hype cannot be denied. So I knew that you would be interested to see it eventually. So
yeah, I mean, so like I had never seen Top Gun back in the day when I was like younger, which is kind of out of control because it's kind of like some people's Karate Kid, and Karate Kid is like a huge deal for us, but like for me it wasn't. Like Top Gun was never a thing that I watched.
We rented it back when I was a kid, and I remember not really liking it because I thought it was kind of boring, and I was just like, it's just about a bunch of dudes like with their shirts off. Like, I wasn't as into it, but over the years, there's more things about it to like for sure, and it's like it turned Tom Cruise into a superstar.
Yeah,
which he still is.
It's definitely like a Tom Cruise like. I don't know, like, it reminds me a lot of, like, Risky Business, because we watched that, too, and it's, like, him in his younger days, and when he gets to actually act in these, and it's not just, you know what I mean?
He's the best.
Sense? Yeah. But when he gets to actually, like, act and stuff in this first one, it's like, holy shit, you definitely see something. Yeah.
There's a reason why he's got that riz! As the kids would say. He's one of the best movie stars ever. Period. Undeniable. And his name is Pete Mitchell.
Yep.
So what did you think of this week? I took no notes. I'm going noteless. I thought it'd be fun to have just a general discussion about these movies.
Yeah, I'd never seen these before, so I mean I was interested.
Do you like them better than Iron Eagle?
So they're a thing. It's like they're so similar. I felt like when I was watching them, I was like, but obviously, like, I mean, I'm assuming Top Gun came first, right?
I think they were very, very close at the simultaneous.
That's
just
so
about.
weird.
Yeah,
that's kind of like what was it, like Armageddon and Deep Impact or whatever. I feel like there was some volcanoes that did that too.
Yeah, Volcano and like Dante's Peak.
That's so weird. There for a while, there was a bunch of stuff like that where it was like disaster films, but they came out at like the exact same time.
It happens. It's a weird thing.
Obviously, these weren't disasters, but like, so my biggest, I don't know, I don't want to like start getting into the harping on it, but like my biggest complaint about the first one at least was it felt like it was a little too long with some of the shit. For me,
it gets very boring at times for me. The aerial footage is cool, but not that cool.
Yeah. Like,
not enough to sustain a 2-hour movie.
I think just in general, like, 2 hours, this was a little out of control with, at least the first one, like setting up, I don't know, it was kind of weird because it was like, I felt like if they had focused more on, like, the actual characters, but a lot of it, like you said, was like there was so much, like, aerial footage and dogfighting.
But it's not even dogfighting; it's dogfighting simulating. Right. So it's like not that exciting. It's like a training film, and then they tack on a battle at the end. But it's so like perfunctory and like it's so, like just tacked on.
Yeah,
I'm like, this doesn't quite work for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think even if because like the thing about the sequel that
the movie ends and they're like, all right, well, Iceman is Top Gun. Oh wait, a battle's happening. Let's go fight a battle now. It's like, dude, come on.
The sequel, like, yeah, they actually have like an enemy and stuff like that.
Yeah, they actually have a mission, and it's like very simple and straightforward. And
but even
amazing.
if the first one I felt like it had that, there was just too much stuff in this that was like nothing was happening. I was like, not that I disliked it. I mean, if they hadn't had Top Gun 1, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they could have made Maverick, but like, there's so much stuff in the sequel, like obviously, like that pulls upon the first movie. Mm-hmm. I feel like I would say that this is like these are like perfect together. If like the first movie was like half as long.
That's why for me, Top Gun Maverick was so amazing because it was like leaps and so far ahead of the first one. Mm-hmm. I was like, did you agree with that, or would you?
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's in a different like stratosphere than Top Gun.
I mean, I think like for me, it was mainly because they already had characters set up from the first movie.
That did help for sure.
Like, because like obviously they play on everything that happens with like you find out, you know, what happened to Iceman and like the ramifications of his best friend's death, you know, and mm-hmm. what happened with his family and all that kind of stuff. Which I think is like a huge part of the movie. I mean, it's pretty much like without that stuff, they could have had it would have been a completely different movie, obviously. So, like, it's kind of like you definitely have to have something to do with the first film for at least this version of Top Gun Maverick to work.
Yeah, it would have been a cool movie regardless, but like having the emotion of the characters carry through like adds a level to it for sure.
I mean, I think that's the best part of the film.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
but the action's way better too.
Right. But it's like, yeah, I mean, like, the action's good, but I mean, that was also like, even with the first one, like, both the films, it was like the action was good, but it was also kind of like the stuff that I was really interested in was like the characters and the stuff with the first one. The characters were kind of like, once the best friend dies, you're like, mm-hmm. Well, now what? And
did you know that was going to happen? Like, were you familiar with the story?
I had no clue. All I knew was that, like,
so were you devastated?
Somebody about Iceman or something. Like, Iceman's the coolest or whatever. And I was like, which is weird because he's like, I feel like he's barely in the first film.
Yeah. I remember, like I said, I didn't really like the movie the first time I saw it, but when Goose died, that was a shocking moment.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
I was shocked, but I was also cracking up because the way it happened, it was like so lame looking.
He turned into a dummy.
So, like, in the film, they, like, his wingman, like, the guy that helps him in the back of his plane is Goose, and he's always with him and stuff, and they've been through all this stuff together, and, like, so they're in this plane, and, like, something happens that, like, they can't control. It's, like, something they couldn't have, like, fixed. So they do the right thing, and they, like, eject. But, like, the top of the thing doesn't go far enough away, I guess, for like Goose.
He gets smunched.
Yeah, his body just like goes supine and smacks against the top of the fucking like thing, and I'm like,
it's horrifying.
How did he hit that, but not fucking Maverick? Like, to me, I thought that was like the part of the film that like, yeah, like obviously it sucked, like. So that part when that happened, I was cracking the fuck up because of how stupid it looked. But then, like, 5 seconds later, Tom Cruise is, like, holding his dead body, and that's, like, sad as hell. But, like, thinking back to the part where he fucking ejects is like, what is this, Mythbusters over here? He's like, like when he ejects, he, like, somehow doesn't eject with, like, the seat or anything. He just, like, he, like, James Bond dummies out of the fucking thing, and he's like, and I'm like, he like slides in like.
I found it funny on rewatching it the scene before that where it's basically the Goose will never die. It's like he has the perfect life. He has like his wife is amazing. She's like, take me to bed, stud.
Yeah, it's like the Walking Dead setup.
Goose is like, my life's going so great, nothing bad will ever happen.
It's like a character in the Walking Dead would finally get like lines. And then they get shot in the head with a fucking arrow. That same episode, you're like, oh, main character talked to me, and they never knew that I like this, and this, my mom's name is this, and then it's like, and they're like, it's like, okay. So yeah, I completely agree. No, I agree though. I mean, I think that like that was like when I watched it, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, and I mean that Goose is like such a great character because even the bad guys like Goose. Like he's just the most likable dude in the whole like Top Gun Academy.
Yeah, and that's a thing too. Is like in the first film, there really isn't like even like Iceman. He's not a bad guy.
Well, here's my warm take. I'm Team Iceman. Like Iceman is right. He's way cooler than Maverick. Maverick he screws everything up. He gets Goose killed. Like Iceman wins Top Gun, not Maverick.
Right.
I think Iceman is way cooler.
Which is a really weird thing. Not a weird thing, but an interesting thing to do in your movie. That like at the end, that like especially around that time, to not have your main character like you know what I mean, like win the tournament or whatever.
But Iceman, like, he does conflict with Maverick some, but he's basically just questioning him, like, why are you doing this? Like, you're putting everyone at risk.
Yeah, none of the people are like bad guys in the first film for sure. It's like, I always felt like when I watched it, at least, I was just like, this is more just like a team movie, kind of like Mighty Ducks or something. And there might be someone on there that they don't really like, they kind of butt heads with, but like it was like, when I was watching it, I was like, if they were trying to make you like dislike certain characters, like they completely failed on that front. Like, I mean, I don't know anybody that watching these films would be like, I hate, Iceman, or I hate this character, because it's like they're all essentially trying to vie for this spot and stuff. Like, so it's not like, one of the guys is like fucking like Drag Off or whatever his name is, or from Rocky. What's his name?
Drago.
Yeah, Drago. Drag Off, you fucking drag off. But you know what I mean? It's like, it's not like in Karate Kid where like Johnny's the bad guy or whatever, but it's really like,
or is he?
Right. But like that kind of a thing.
Yeah. One thing I was thinking, this like, the more I thought about it, the angrier I got. Why is Tig not in this movie? Dude, he would have been perfect as like Iceman or Iceman's partner.
Yeah.
He would have fit right in.
I think that's one of my main complaints is like when people, totally people like whoever they want to like, but I felt like the character of Iceman was pretty lame. It's not lame, but he was pretty like non-filled out. He was kind of just a guy, and like
he just had a cool look.
Yeah, and it was kind of like Boba Fett. It was like, okay, like what?
Like he did do the air bite.
Well, like I feel like, like he was completely like wasted. Like the actor was kind of wasted on that role until you get to the second movie, obviously. But like in the first movie, I felt like it was like, like I don't know, maybe he just was kind of newer too, and he just wasn't. I don't know.
Well, he's Iceman. He's like, he shows no emotion. He's always cool as ice. So
just doesn't have any good lines either.
That's why he had to do the bite.
Yeah,
that wasn't in the
he's
script.
Like, I'm not trying to hate on.
I don't know. I just like Val Kilmer so much.
I like Val Kilmer too. I just felt like he was kind of like wasted in this first film.
I didn't have a problem with him at all. That was great, very memorable. But like you said, it's not the most three-dimensional character ever made.
Right.
But I feel like
I just feel like definitely. I mean, like the first movie is pretty well. Like it's not as memorable, I think, as like maybe a lot of people make it out to be. At least for
I think it has memorable moments that people like the volleyball scene. What did you think about that? Playing with the boys.
That was definitely like a case for people to watch this film and be like, there's definitely some homosexual stuff going on in this film.
A lot of hunks.
Yeah.
A lot of beefcake.
Right. So like to me, it was fun. I don't know. I was just watching it like, okay, this is like something you would see in Karate Kid or something as well, with like the bad guys or whoever just playing around and stuff. So
yeah. Also, it is part like, military propaganda of if you're in the Air Force, it's going to be amazing. You're going to play volleyball all day with your friends, and you're
going to play with the boys.
Playing with the boys. Tony Scott directed Top Gun 1, our boy.
Yeah. And
it definitely has plenty of style.
Yeah, I think
like
that's
a slick, glossy look to it.
I think that's the one thing that besides the soundtrack for the first movie, it's just as good, if or better than Maverick, is the style and like the soundtrack.
But the soundtrack rules.
Yeah, Maverick has style too, so it's just different. But like I was watching it and I was like, holy shit, dude! Like they have that orange look at the beginning and stuff like that, and there's just so much cool stuff.
Dude, every time I've seen this movie, when the opening credits start and it's like, boom, and like that music starts playing, I'm like, this is going to be the greatest movie ever made. Like, it gets me so pumped. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, the first 3 minutes of this movie, and they do the same thing in Maverick.
Yeah.
I love it so much. It just, like, has that 80s synthesizer style going.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just, I don't know, fine filmmaking, in my opinion. And then the rest of the movie is a letdown from there.
Yeah. Just like the sequel. They both suck. I hate my life.
Jesus.
No, not true. Not true. Oh boy. Now that we pissed off everybody watching this by saying that Top Gun 1 isn't the greatest movie ever made.
I think it's definitely worth watching. Like, you have the movie star wattage of Tom Cruise, Val Kilmer. Yeah. What did you think of Kelly McGillis?
As
the trainer and Maverick's love interest.
Love interest. Yeah. Okay. So that was a weird thing because I thought that they were gonna they were gonna do more with that in the sequel, but she just is AWOL or something. Is she dead in real life or something? Or
no?
Because I guess
that her career didn't quite go
yeah,
far.
they kind of did that with because what's her Goose's wife is still alive, like that actress
Meg Ryan.
Yeah, but she didn't come back. They're just like, oh yeah, she fucking died off screen. And I was like, okay. Not like you have to bring everybody back, but it was just kind of like, obviously this is like he's young and stuff, so it's not like he's like, I'm with her and now we're going to get married. But like at the end of a movie, I guess it's kind of what happened with Karate Kid, where he had like every movie had a different girl or whatever. But like, yeah, she was good. It was just interesting to see like, she's like essentially his like teacher. And she was playing with the boys.
I think the scenes between the two of them are hot. Like, the chemistry is like... What?
No, not your idea of that. Just... They're hot.
As Tony Scott would say.
Oh, man.
So it's like that chemistry takes my breath away. But like, she was in 2 big movies.
I think Tom Cruise can have chemistry with anybody. He's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
Not like I'm taking
I think a lot of people
from her,
argue that, but I've never thought that way. I thought, his charisma is so high, and like his acting talent is so good, like he can pull off chemistry with anyone. I thought the same thing of the scenes with him and Nicole Kidman in Days of Thunder. Yeah. But Kelly McGillis was in Top Gun, and she was in Witness with Harrison Ford. Oh, okay. Also hot. And then those were like the 2 biggest movies she was in, so I wish she would have been in more big movies.
It sucks.
Yeah.
I'm like, Harrison Ford is hot. Yeah, man.
That's the movie where he has to hide out in Amish country, and she's like the Amish girl, so like they have a forbidden romance.
That's like what happened with that Tim Allen and Kirstie Alley movie, where like they fucking have to go to the Amish place. There were a lot of movies back in the day that were like, let's make movies about how wacky it is that Amish people don't have electricity, and it's like, that's just their fucking beliefs. Good God. Oh, aren't they weird? No, not really.
Weird Al for that. So that trend.
Well, I think the Kirstie Alley movie came before that.
I don't think so. Look it up.
You can look.
But yeah, it was right around the same time.
You're like, yeah, but I'm wrong.
But yeah, I wish, it's a shame she didn't come back for the sequel, but it's not, like you said, it's not like they have to bring everyone back.
Right.
I'm trying to think of what else about the first one. I mean, I think we're kind of the same opinion. It's totally fine.
I can't see shit.
It's not great.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it was like...
I mean, there are cool shots of planes. Like, I can't deny that. Yeah. But it's kind of... I don't know. I thought it was so much better handled in the second... Oh, well, here's the other thing. There's so much footage of a head in a mask talking in front of a blue screen. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what they totally fixed in the sequel. They actually had the actors in the planes. Oh, that were really flying. Unlike just blue screens in the first one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And that got super old and repetitive. Yeah. Any other... What else about Top Gun?
Let me look over my notes here real quick. I can't see shit.
No looking.
One of the things I had here was in reference to the A.V. Gene episode.
Oh, yeah.
When they landed.
Classic game.
And I was like, up, up, down, down, left, up, down. Like, when they were landing, I was, like, thinking that. I was like...
Even watching that video
yeah.
was, like, such a frustrating experience of him playing that game.
Did you ever play that game? Or?
No. Thank God.
I thought about playing it, but last week
infamously
I was
horrible.
Just completely fucked, so...
Yeah, this is back when every big movie had a Nintendo game
right.
or Sega game.
Kind of miss that, but then
But most of them were really crappy.
Like, most of them suck, so maybe not.
Yeah, we can go play the Demolition of the Super Nintendo game I got, and you'll totally change your mind.
Or the Dick Tracy game.
So horrible. Dick Tracy? No, I was thinking Roger Rabbit. That was a good one.
I don't know why I had a note here talking about how Goose sounds and looks like Mike from American Movie. Maybe it was one of the very first things I saw of him and thought that, but then as soon as you see him walking around, he's like the opposite of him. He's like super tall and
maybe
shit.
You were on meds.
Yeah, maybe.
Hallucinating. He's like, I'm going to go on that plane flying, Mike.
Yeah, I'm like, I did like, somebody I want to point out here is Mr. Strickland from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Commander.
He's great.
Stinger.
He's great in the movie. And we didn't talk about Tom Skerritt.
Yep.
Not Brad Garrett.
Right.
We want Tom Skerritt. We don't want Brad Garrett.
Flying upside down and flipping off the mystery fighter and taking the photo. I thought that was kind of cool. You screw up one time and you'll be flying a plane of rubber dog shit out of Hong Kong. I was like, another AVG in line. I was like, and then I think
I wish you would have called him a slacker.
Yeah.
That should have been his trademark.
That's true. Michael Ironside, baddie from Next Karate Kid in this.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
He's great.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else here that's really worth talking about. Like, there's one dude that they tried to, like, catch, like, Michael Ironside, Jester or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's kind of like, none of the guys are really after, like, their asses or anything. They're not, like, bad guys. They're just kind of, like, trying to, like, make them better.
Yeah.
And stuff. So, like you said in this first film, it's not really like there's, like,
not a huge ton of conflict.
Right.
Like, there's some, but it's pretty minor.
Right. The only real conflict is, like, Tom Cruise versus himself, which is...
Will Tom Cruise keep making the same mistakes over and over again?
Right.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
He never learns.
You're talking about the actor?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's like... Which can be a good thing in a movie. Yeah. It's just...
And I think it plays out very well in the sequel.
Yeah, I think that's why, like, it's hard for me to be, like, too harsh on the first one, because without the first one, the second one wouldn't have been nearly as good for me.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't even know what... they somehow made it, like... They took all the stuff from the first one and like, actually...
Made it good.
Right. Well, they took it and, like, made it a complete, like, you know what I mean, kind of thing. So, like, if you would mash these two movies together, it would be, like, the perfect thing.
Which is what you did this week.
That's true. My only other note here I have is Shadow Man Sex Week. When they're having sex.
Oh, I wanted to, yeah, since you brought that up, I wanted to ask you, what did you think of Tom Cruise's kissing style?
But you should explain to everybody what it is.
I don't know if I can even explain it.
You brought it up?
Open mouth.
Yeah.
Lick other mouth.
He's like... I'm like... He's like a fucking giraffe or some shit when he's making kisses.
Like a lemur?
Yeah, a lemur.
An anteater?
An anteater! He's like... His mouth goes like that and then his tongue's like...
Pretty much.
I'm like, oh. Also, I know that this is like a big thing at the end when Iceman says, you're still dangerous, but you can be my wingman any time. Like, when I was watching this and, like... this was like, what the fuck? Who does this? Who just says, like, they're pissed and they're like, you're great. I'm like, is this a fucking joke? Like,
it's a silly moment, and it's not earned, I don't think.
Well,
but it works for me. Like, I love it so
Iceman
much.
was completely not like that as a character, so I thought that's kind of why it worked.
It just made me want to stand up
but
and
I was
cheer.
like, what the fuck is this dog shit?
If you think about it, it makes no sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like, if I had watched this when I was a kid, I'd probably be like, hell yeah. Mm-hmm. But as an adult, like, us watching movies all the time, I was kind of like... By the end, I was just kind of glad that it was over. I mean, not really that it was over.
That end battle drags on so long. I was like, come on.
Well,
this is boring.
Yeah, I mean, not more so just that it's like there's just a lot of stuff in the film that like could have been not in the movie, and I was like, I don't know, like I like the stuff with Tom Cruise and like Maverick and like Goose, and I like the stuff with like Maverick and his girlfriend, but like a lot of the other conflict is like not. I mean, I guess other than that, there's not really any other conflict in the movie because Iceman's in the film, but he's got like 3 lines. It's just fine that he's in the film, but it's also like... It's like Boba Fett. They try to make him a bigger deal than he really is, I feel like. I like that he's in the film, though. I just... If it was up to me, I would have given him a way bigger part in the film.
They should have made Top Gun Iceman instead of Top Gun Maverick.
That's pretty much what the sequel is. Because the whole time you're wondering if you're going to see him. Because, like... of what happened to him IRL, which we'll talk about. Also, at the end here, Tom Cruise throws away Goose's dog tags, and I was like, okay, he's like supposed to be letting go, but like, what about his family?
He lives in the ocean.
I was like, do they want his dog tags? What the fuck? Also,
it's
like,
as bad as when the old lady threw the diamond off the Titanic.
What a fucking idiot! Yeah, I was like, you're a dumb.
Not off the Titanic, off the.
Yeah, she's like, fucking snowman catches it. But I'm like, I was like, he's really not gonna throw this in the ocean, is he? And he did, and I was like, what a fucking idiot! I can't believe he just did that because
so selfish.
Well, I was just thinking like his family, but also like, what is he like letting him go? But like. If I had something and it was the last thing I had of you and I was like, I need to like let Matt go, I wouldn't like get rid of it. You know what I mean? Like,
you're like,
yeah, I'm like, fuck you to, you know, our future.
Maybe it was Maverick's way of dealing.
Right? Which didn't work because there's unresolved shit in the sequel, so
totally
makes no sense. Then again, I'm sure he didn't do that and be like, years from now in the sequel, this will make no sense.
I wish he would have threw him and then did a crotch chop, and that would cut to credits.
He throws him.
Cut my life into pieces.
He's like...
He's a dolphin. Like,
yeah. He's like, I'm taking this shit. Everyone's like, man.
Now you need to edit a clip of that. Iceman popping out of the ocean and catching the dog ties.
They gave you your choice of duty, son. Anything, anywhere. Do you believe that shit? Where do you think you want to go? I thought of being instructor, sir. Top Gun? Yes, sir. God help us. Which, spoiler alert, in the sequel that doesn't go so well.
Highway to the danger zone.
Because he tries doing it in the fucking, for like 2 months, and then they're like, get this fucking joke.
You're fired.
Yeah. What was he doing? He was like...
He's a Maverick.
Yeah. He's not an Iceman, though. He somehow walked right by Charlie Is Love at the end of the film. That was my last note I'm going to talk about, because I was like, how did he miss her in that room? She was literally, she like comes around the corner and he like walked right by her where she was hiding. I'm like,
hiding?
Okay.
He was like,
yeah, he was like that fan at WrestleMania. It was like peeking. I was like, huh? So, that's Top Gun.
What'd you think of Top Gun Maverick?
I'm with you.
The Legacy sequel.
Yeah, I think it was, I was shocked as hell. Because I watched it and I was like...
Man, it was good.
Well, I was shocked because it was like, I wasn't really... I mean, I was expecting a lot, honestly, because I hadn't heard one person say it was bad that saw it. But, at the same time, like, you know, when I saw Top Gun 1, I was like... But then again, like, you and Trav both were like... Like, Trav was like, I hadn't even seen the first one. And you were like...
I don't even like the first one that much.
You were like, eh. And I was like, how the hell can something that's like a legacy, like a sequel, essentially, be better than the first one
by a mile.
Right, and also be like, the people that saw the first one are like, yeah, it was way better, and like you weren't even like really a fan of the first one, and I was like, huh, okay.
This is also proof that I'm not just a contrarian, because this was a hugely popular movie that I just loved. Like, I can't deny.
I'm like, not true.
I can't deny how good it is.
You're not a contrarian. You're a sellout now.
I am. I just love it.
But yeah, I was really shocked. I was pleasantly surprised. I had expectations, and they were,
I'm glad, man. I wasn't sure how it was going to play out, especially with as much hype as there was around this movie. So I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it makes me sad that they never made like a Days of Thunder thing like this, because this would have been, in this same style.
Days of Thunder, Cold Trickle.
It would have made even better. Would have been even better.
Harry Hogg's still alive too.
In our dreams. Harry Hogg.
See our previous episode on Days of Thunder.
Jesus Christ. But yeah. Sadly, Tony Scott was not around to see this be made. But I think that he would be happy and proud of this.
Yeah, I think they tried to definitely utilize some of his style.
Right, because you can definitely tell when you watch this, you're like, holy shit, this is just so, I don't know, well done.
It works, yeah, well done.
Like,
there's something to be said for like a simple story well told, because the story is so super simple.
Yeah.
Like, they have a mission that's going to be really hard.
Yeah.
They have to come together.
They don't
as a
even
team
like say like who the enemies are, which is something I appreciated.
They don't need to.
Like, okay, now you're just lying.
Yeah.
Why are you lying?
They literally just call it the enemy.
Right. Well, they're like, we got these guys that are like breaking the treaty, and like they're making nukes, and we got to go stop them before their factory gets up running. And I was like, okay, this is like the smartest thing ever, because it's like nukes will always be, something that will be, scary to mess with, and by not being like, it's the Chinese, it's the Russians, it's this or that, like, years and years from now, this can be applicable, because it could be anybody. It could be, you can't even really tell where this is. It's just, which is nice, and it's like unmarked helicopters, and,
Yeah.
And same thing actually kind of with the first, because those two dudes show up out of nowhere, and you're like, I wonder who these people are, and you never find out, which is good, because it's like, it's just the enemy. They're like these bastards. So I like that.
But I think they do, I agree, and I think they do such a good job of like laying out the details of the mission, so like, it's super clear how hard it's going to be and what exactly they have to do.
Yeah.
It's basically the Star Wars trench run.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which, hey, that's one of the coolest things ever. So,
yeah, it was, they run it like a ton, and like, they somehow have like an exact replica of it where they live, which I was like, okay. But like, yeah, they do a good job of doing that as far as like showing that there's a clear reason. It's not just like these dudes. It's kind of cool because everybody, like, they already skipped the Top Gun thing, and they're like, all the people that you were Maverick is recruiting for this mission have won Top Gun before. So they're like,
the best of the best.
Yeah. And there's an actual enemy here that like, and it's not just like, hey,
what an idea!
Fight
it's not
people.
just training,
right? And it's not just training. It's like training for something. Not just, like in Karate Kid, it's not the biggest stakes ever, but it's emotional stakes, and like the training is it's like Rocky, it's for like one man's pride. In the first one, it's literally for one man's ego.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, it's for the world, and it's like, holy shit, dude. Like, Tom Cruise puts aside his pride, and Maverick is a completely different person at this point, because he does everything for other people instead of everything for himself. And you kind of find out that a lot of that has rubbed off from Iceman, Val Kilmer, who spoiler, he does show up at one point in this film.
I was so glad.
Best scene in the movie, in my opinion.
I agree, and I love that they became like best friends, basically, and like colleagues for their entire careers.
And Iceman was there for him and stuff, because
it would have been so lame if they were still like rivals or something. That would have been. It was such better handled.
Right. Yeah.
So
like
well handled.
I think like I love Cobra Kai, and like it's like I'm glad it went the way it did and stuff, and I love the show. But one of the things that was always so weird was that like in Karate Kid at the end, Johnny like congratulates him, and then like in the beginning of Cobra Kai, you see that like Johnny's life is ruined because of this thing, and I'm like, kind of seems like his life would have been fine, so I don't understand. But it's fine. It's but I agree. Like in this universe, if he literally had just been like, fuck it, it would have been like, well, damn, where's the fucking conflict here? Where's the they do something here that was, I mean, they do a lot of things in this film was like, I've seen in a lot of films that are done not super great, but in this film they're done pretty great with. They have the son of Goose is a Top Gun winner. He went into the Top Gun program and won against his mother's wishes, and Maverick actually pulled his records and made him get fucked like at one point and cost him career. Screwed him. And it wasn't because it was because his mom told him essentially, I don't want him to end up like his father. And I didn't even realize, am I even on screen at all?
I don't know, I can't tell. Yeah.
Okay.
My future's so bright, I gotta wear shades.
I'm like, well, how about now?
Like, nope.
I'm like, not true.
I'm like, neither of us are on screen. If I can't see it, it doesn't exist. So poof. Vamoose, son of a bitch.
That's how I felt about the first film. But
when I first realized that Goose's son was going to be in this, I was like, uh-oh. But it was great. They handled it so well.
Right, shockingly good. I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? How's this working out so well?
I also thought it was cool how Maverick basically didn't rise up through the ranks. He at some point got stuck at a certain level, captain, I think. And Iceman became like an admiral? Like, he was basically Maverick's boss his whole career.
Yeah, he became like a god or whatever.
Jesus.
It reminded me of that episode of Next Generation where like Picard's life goes in a different direction and he doesn't rise up in the ranks, and he's like a little bitch for the rest of his life, and he's like 80 years old.
Yeah.
He's like, remember? Yeah.
What'd you think of Tom Cruise returning?
I'm like, in the sequel, he sucked
Mitchell.
even worse. No, I mean, I don't know what to say other than, how many films have we seen of his on the podcast?
Probably a bunch at this point.
I mean,
or maybe just Days of Thunder.
2, 3, Risky Business, Days of Thunder, and these two.
He's always great in everything.
But it's like, like not every film I think that he's ever been in has been great, but he's never been bad in a film.
I agree.
But I think that's like a lot of people, like actors and stuff. But like Tom Cruise, you definitely, especially in these movies he's doing now where he has so much like input and stuff because he has the money to help out and with the stunts and everything. And just the way that everything looks, it's like, this looks like how a movie back in the day, like Top Gun 1 looked. This looks like a holy shit, this came to theaters and it looks fucking awesome, Yeah. Just the grading and everything.
I saw it in IMAX theater with a full house and it was like riveting. Like the crowd, the energy was like electric. Everyone was loving it. It was just great.
I'm like, not true. You're like, they were on the door or whatever.
Playing with the door.
Yeah, it's just kind of one of those things where, like, regardless, like, it looks great, and him in this film is, he's awesome in it.
Yeah. I really like this scene where he's flying the stealth bomber, trying to break the record at the beginning.
Yeah, that's actually, when I was watching that, I was like, man, I I've seen him in a bunch of sci-fi stuff before, and this just feels completely like that.
Yeah. But the best part is where he flies over Ed Harris and like buzzes him.
Yeah.
And that was really Ed Harris standing in front of a stealth bomber. Like, he wanted to do that himself.
Oh, nice.
So I thought that was really cool. And they didn't know that, like, that roof of that building was going to almost fly off. But that was just a cool moment.
He was like... That's something they do in the first film, too. It's like they buzz the tower. I'm like, come on, Maverick, grow up. One dude keeps getting it over and over again.
He spills his coffee every time.
Fuck.
I'm like, maybe don't take a drink at that exact moment.
Right. When
he's
like...
ah!
Yeah, he's like... We're going to buzz the tower. And he's like, don't do it. He's like, okay, well, I told them not to do it, so that means they definitely won't do it. And they also can't see them.
Yeah.
So, like, what? Like you said, it's like, that's on him. I'm like, blame the victim.
When he crashes the stealth and
oh
he
my
walks
God,
into that
dude.
diner.
Holy shit.
Great scene.
That was probably one of the best shots in the entire film. When he crashes that, and it's like, literally, you just see, like, that fucking effect. I was like, dude, what the fuck?
You're like, R.I.P.
Yeah, I was
Maverick,
like, this looks
done.
fucking awesome. I was like, that could have been its own movie right there.
It basically is a little mini movie at the beginning. It was great.
Yeah, it's like a James Bond kind of deal. He's kind of started his own company where he's like testing creatures or not. What the fuck am I talking about?
He's like, all right, pencils down, creatures. Your tests are done.
And then he's testing like experimental stuff. The creatures are like.
They're like,
they're like, flying to the creature zone. Which I think is really cool because it's like they're testing. He's like, the only way that you can, they're trying to get to Mach 9 or whatever, and he's like, Mach 10 now, and he's like, okay, fuck it. And they haven't even got to Mach 9. Of course, he gets to Mach 10, and then he goes,
just whatever you do, do not go past Mach 10. What do you think Maverick's going to do?
Yeah.
Like, this guy's a loose cannon.
This is like Star Trek over here. I was like, dude, holy shit, this is out of control. But this is so cool. I was like, man. But it was cool because it's like the only reason he even did it was because he knew if he didn't, that
his team would all
everybody that he works with would be fired. Mm-hmm. And it's like a complete shift from like the first movie, which I thought was awesome. It was cool to see a character,
grow and change.
Right, yeah.
Much like Luke Skywalker in the sequel trilogy. Never mind. Forget I said that. Move on.
Anyway.
I have one very minor criticism of this movie. In the bar scene, where like the new recruits come together, basically, and Goose's son Rooster starts playing Great Balls of Fire, and they all start. I was like, "Come on,
like his
dude!"
Son, or just like his dad did.
His classic. It was like Michael Keaton saying, "Let's get nuts." Like a song he sang one time in that bar became like his whole thing, and like a bunch of millennials are going to be like jamming out to Great Balls of Fire. I was like, "This is ridiculous, dude." They should have done something different. Like, have him sing a different song. It'd be way cooler.
I kind of felt that way about, like, in the first film when, like, that whole group of dudes were singing to that lady. Mm-hmm. Like, you lost your love and feeling or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like,
I've been out at bars where people I was with did that.
To you? They're like, there's no tenderness.
And they're like, man, come on, we're going to do this. And I was like, I decline. I'm not going to participate in that. That's
like that exact thing?
Yes.
To like what? Just a random
girl.
Lady?
Yeah. Either a girlfriend or someone that they met. I was like, I'm not going to participate. That's super stupid.
We should do that every time someone walks into your house.
I guess it's a fine scene in that movie, but like, I'm not going to
participate
in recreating
that.
Yeah,
I thought it was kind of weird that like the entire, like, he would have it set up and then like all these people would join him. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
I guess that's maybe something that like he has set up or whatever, that like he's like, come on guys, help me out. That's so weird. Yeah, I've never been around when someone's done that before, thankfully, because I would be completely embarrassed.
Yeah.
because it wasn't done to me.
Hey, let's do the exact thing that someone did in a movie once.
Right.
No.
It was like completely horribly sounding and out of tune.
And probably not something that most people would want to happen.
Right. That's like whenever somebody, like the waiter brings over like a birthday cake to you and you didn't ask for it, and they all sing to you, it's like, fucking Christ.
Wait, that's happened when someone didn't ask for it?
Well, no, yeah, like, remember, like, if, you know, your parents or somebody's like, oh, it's our kid's birthday.
Yeah. But someone asked for it. They don't just randomly bring birthday cakes to people.
Right, but no one asked for it that wants it to happen.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing. It's like an unwanted...
attention.
Yeah.
They're what do you think of...
You lost that love and feeling.
Jennifer Connelly as the love interest for Maverick.
Yeah. Good old Goblin King lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool to see her in a film again.
Yeah,
I haven't seen her in something in a while. Or I hadn't seen her, I guess, in a film recently that I'd watched. But it was cool
thinking
to
Dark
see
City
her.
for some reason. She's in that. I like her in that one.
But
that was like 20 years ago.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that before. Yeah, I mean, she's great. She's kind of like the rekindled love that you only hear about in this movie. Tom Cruise comes to Top Gun to teach these people, and he's back in town, and she's still running this bar, and we're back in love and stuff like that. So
yeah, it was cool character.
Yeah,
good addition.
It was like, it's a little too convenient. It disgusts me. I'm like, what the fuck are all these people singing? Shut the fuck up. What song would you want them to sing?
I don't know, something...
All the people on the left wing.
If that was like a 50s song they did in the 80s, maybe they could do like a 90s song in the 20s.
Like,
that felt so forced.
1, 2, 3. Oh yeah.
You're like, I'm not a coward, I've just never been tested. I'd like to think that if I was, I would have.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I just didn't buy it at all. I thought it was forced.
He's like, it starts with one thing. I don't know why.
He's like, cut my life into pieces.
Like the fucking, it's like, huh? Yeah, maybe it was like so old that it went all the way back around, but it's like when we're talking about like, when you said Riz earlier about like Tom Cruise, I was like, or is that what you said, or did you say about Maverick? And I was like, are there kids that even know who Tom Cruise is that would say Riz?
Probably not.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, what? But it was, it's like you said, something completely out of time. It was a little weird.
I got no other criticisms. Like the whole rest of this movie just totally works for me.
I mean, it's mainly that coupled with the fact that he has a mustache just like his dad did, and he dresses just like him. It's like, and his name isn't Goose, it's Rooster. It's like, okay, dude.
I thought he was great in this, Miles Teller.
Yeah, he's great.
He was awesome.
I just thought it was like a little too on the nose.
Yeah, I agree. They could have just not. It was too much.
He didn't have to be like a mini-me of his dad.
He didn't have to be an exact copy.
Because he was jokey, too. I mean, he had more of a, like, actual role, whereas, like, Goose was more of, like, the best pal. This guy was, like, the main character and stuff, which is cool, but it's like he was still very much, like, So.
The other character that really worked for me was Glenn Powell. He was basically the guy that comes in and saves him at the end, but he's kind of the bad guy.
Oh, okay.
I forget his call sign.
He's like this movie's Iceman, maybe?
Joker? Yeah. I forget his... I'll have to look it up. But he was great, and he's like a huge movie star now. He's like the lead of the Twisters, which just came out.
I like John Hamm. He was like a complete dick for real no reason in this film, though. But he does a lot in films and stuff. It's funny because I like him, and I'm not necessarily like a huge fan of like people that are pricks in films. I'm not like, my favorite character in Ghostbusters is Peck. But like, I just like John Hamm in general. Like, I've seen him in a lot of stuff, and I always like him. But, like, I guess for whatever reason, he's a complete bastard in this film.
Yeah. He takes the mission more seriously than anyone, it seems like.
Right.
Which I thought was cool.
It makes sense.
Glenn Powell was Hangman.
Oh, okay. But he also, like... He takes it serious, which makes sense, but he's also, like... He's almost, like, denying the fact that, like... Maverick is good or something. It's like, it's kind of like...
It's like he's already on his last leg with Maverick at the beginning. Like,
right, and it's kind of like, what the fuck happened? Like, did he... I guess maybe he did something...
I thought it was great when after Maverick and Brewster do that death spiral thing or whatever, he's like, I never want to see that shit again.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't either. They almost died, dude. Like, I would hope that never happens again.
I don't know why that cracked me up, because I was like, when you said that, I had a thing here that said, Goose's son looks just like him. Magnets, how do they work?
Looks just like Daddy.
Yeah. Tom Cruise's credit card has been declined. I did think it was cool how, like, essentially, in the first film, like, there were parts where, like, they would actually, like, beat Joker pretty quickly and stuff. In this, nobody can touch Maverick. Like, when he's testing these Top Gun people, like, he's fucking smoking everybody. Yeah. Like, they can't do shit to him.
Yeah.
And it's, like, so easy for him. And I'm like, this is how it should be. Like, they should rise up to his level, not like they shouldn't nerf the fuck out of Maverick in this film, which I liked.
I agree. That's why my other favorite moment in this movie is when he makes the run.
Yeah.
Movie magic.
Yeah.
It's just like, it was so good. Like I
when
get goosebumps.
You mean like when he goes out there and
when he demonstrates that it can be done.
Yeah, demonstrates.
And everyone was like, Maverick is awesome.
Yeah, like
it's just
even John Hamm was like,
I have goosebumps right now just thinking about it. So awesome.
Yeah.
I'm looking up who were nominated for Oscars because I thought Tom Cruise got robbed for this. Like, he definitely should have been nominated.
Yeah. He got out-rizzled.
But anyways,
he lost that love and feeling.
Dude.
What?
Brendan Fraser won for The Whale, which I like him, but that movie's totally ridiculous and he's not good. Like, Paul Mescal.
I don't know. I've never
Bill
seen
Nighy, Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell. Cruise got robbed.
I don't know. I'd have to see the other films.
The Whale. Everyone's talking about that.
I mean, everybody was.
I thought how bad it was. It sucked.
I heard everybody said it was awesome.
I thought it was.
But I'd never seen it, so I can't really
I thought
say.
it was so bad it's good. Like, total ridiculous. But anyways, I don't want to shit talk that.
Too bad. You already did. I don't want to shit talk something. I just spent 5 minutes shit talking.
It's so stupid.
I'd never seen it. I was happy that Brendan Fraser was actually back in the limelight again.
Me too.
I mean, even if this was the only film up, I would have been shocked if this would have won anything, sadly, because it's an action film.
It was nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah. No, I'm shocked then. Because it didn't deserve it.
Jesus.
You know what I mean, though?
It was never going to win, but
right, but you know what I'm saying, though? It's as sad as it is, like, I mean, being nominated for Best Picture for something like this it's like we have to give it to him because it's so good.
Yeah.
You know,
it was nominated for Best Screenplay, Best Picture, Visual Effects, Music, Editing, and Sound.
Oh. Did it win anything?
No. Oh, one sound. Yeah. Oh. That was it.
Oh, the sound.
You're like, huh? Losers
I'm
all
like,
around.
Yeah, bunch of bullshit. Losers all around. Did they put that on the front of the Blu-ray winner of Best Sound? They're like, you can hear what you won't see. It's like the soundtrack. I'm like, what was in the soundtrack for this one again? It was like
Lady Gaga was the big one because she had the song at the end.
Yeah, the soundtrack for the first one was way better.
Yeah,
but you know, they're like my poker face. I was like, holy shit. That's what he should have played on the fucking... Or that song from fucking movie with Lady Gaga, or like... she gets really big. You ever see that movie that she got like, she's like a
Star is Born?
Yeah, and fucking what's his face hangs himself. I was like, Jesus! I saw that movie in theaters and was like, fucking, like, holy shit.
That was good stuff.
But like, they should have sang that song at the end, like hangs himself. So we talked about it earlier, but Val Kilmer is here, and even speaking is painful for Iceman now. So what'd you think about this? Did you know he was going to be in it before you saw it?
I was hoping he would, but I didn't know because like he kind of semi-retired because of all his health issues.
Yeah, sadly he had like a stroke or something, or
he had cancer, like throat cancer.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And lots of like ongoing issues with that, and
right.
I'm not sure what else, but
it's just a really sad situation.
Lost the ability to speak.
Right. But in this film, he does speak at one point, which is legit as fuck.
Yeah, it was cool. I think they used AI to create his voice.
Oh, wow.
Because he can't talk anymore.
Like at all?
Yeah.
Damn, man, that sucks.
But yeah, it was a great moment, and I was glad to see him, even though it was like, next scene, it's like Iceman's funeral, like he instantly died.
Like, they were like, whatever you do, don't let Iceman talk because his next words could kill him.
Yeah.
And so he's just like, Maverick, ever since I met you back in 50 BC, we've been the greatest of friends. Let me tell you the ways. 1,000. And I'm like, And then the next scene, they're like fucking lowering his ass in the
Maverick finally got his revenge for losing
fucking
TopGun.
coffin flopping his ass. He got his revenge. He's like, who's number 2 now, bitch? But,
I'm TopGun now.
He's like, but Iceman says the Navy needs Maverick. The kid needs Maverick. That's why I fought for you. That's why you're still here. Thank you, Ice, for everything. And he says, one last thing. Who's the better pilot, you or me? And he says, this is a nice moment. Let's not ruin it.
I mean,
pretty much
great.
saying, listen, you fucking suck.
He's like, I'm the best pilot. I'm the best pilot. I'm the best pilot.
He's like, I wanted to be a flying man. I'm like, what? But he was pretty much like, you know, like you said, it was like, it was a touching scene. It's awesome. But then the next scene, it's like,
hard cut to a funeral.
I was like, really? It's like they're zipping him up in the body bag as he's talking to Tom Cruise. I'm like, oh.
He's like, Maverick, I'm dying.
Yeah, it's like, dude, holy shit. But yeah, he asked him if he's a better pilot, and what would you say in that situation?
I don't know. I like Tom Cruise's answer.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. Be like, what do you think? Throw it back at him.
Someone, I didn't notice this, but I heard someone notice that like they text like old men, like they use punctuation and periods and stuff at the end of their sentences. I thought that was pretty funny.
What?
When they're texting each other, they're using old people.
I thought you said I heard someone say they text like old men, and I was like, who?
Maverick and
You're like, I just heard some guy say text like old men.
I should have clarified.
Like, no, I understand what you mean now because they text in the film, and that's what kind of makes you wonder, like, is he just not going to even show up in the film? Because he's in the film the whole time, but as Maverick's text buddy, which I thought that was kind of cool that they text because it's like, it's not like they're not going to be like, hey, we're so old fashioned, we don't know how to work a phone. Because you would grow up with it, you would get it, you know, like
a dumber movie would have.
Right, they'd be like, what's a phone? I'm like, dude, where the are you under a rock? Like, this isn't like Blast from the Past or whatever with Brendan Fraser. But like, speaking of which, they do something like that when he goes to visit him, where like he's typing on the computer, and it's like I guess that's kind of how they get around like really having him speak a bunch. But then at the end, when he finally does, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, so good.
What was with the beach football with 2 balls? I didn't understand what the fuck was going on.
I loved it. They made up a new sport. Offense and defense at the same time.
It made no sense. Dude, that was like a clusterfuck. I did not get what was going on. I was like, had you ever heard of something like this before?
No, they made it up for the movie. It was cool. It was a cool idea. They topped the volleyball sequence. Didn't know it could be done.
Most like non-important scene in the movie.
It was the team bonding.
Yeah. Just didn't make any sense. I didn't get it.
It was football with 2 balls.
Right. I think I was confused by that. Maybe I'll have to try to figure out or find if there's like an official rule book. Maverick takes Jennifer Connelly home, and he wants the Bunani.
Yeah, I thought that definitely no making out in this one, unlike Top Gun 1.
Right. They got home and they were like...
Basically, they just showed Tom Cruise in bed laughing while they're like...
Yeah, he's like, oh,
having a great time.
Oh. Like, huh? So, like, what'd you think about, like, the birds attacking the plane or whatever? Like, I guess they survived passing out and then fucking these birds, like, because I know that's something that can happen in IRL and stuff, and I was like, Jesus.
I don't think the birds attack a plane.
Well...
Like, oh shit, here come the birds! They're gonna attack!
They're like...
The plane strikes the birds.
Right. Or the birds strike the plane.
Yeah. 2 hits, a bird hitting a plane hitting the floor.
Yeah. It's like... I'm like... The birds are like...
They hate those planes!
Yeah, so like... Yeah, they were fucked.
Just another obstacle to overcome.
Just another manic Monday.
Maverick Monday.
Wish it was Sunday. It's like...
I think one of the best things they did in the making of this movie was put the actors in
it was
the
attack birds.
Get attack birds to attack the planes. They're on leashes like...
Leashes? Not in cages?
You're like, hold me back.
Yeah.
I'm going to attack.
They're like wrestlers where like the refs have to hold them back. It's like, what?
But they put the actors in the actual planes and flew them around.
Nice.
And it totally enhances the flying scenes for me.
Like, that's awesome.
You can tell they're like struggling with the G-forces and stuff. A very, very cool way to do it. As opposed to all CGI or green screen. Of which there is plenty of CGI in this movie, but it's a lot of real stuff too.
Really? It's not... The birds didn't really fucking get killed? Val Kilmer, yeah, we talked about that. He fucking died. I forget, does Tom Cruise say anything in his funeral or no?
No, he punches in the little wings into his coffin.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too. I was like, holy shit, dude. I thought it was funny how he was like, okay, see, like, the trench run can be done. And then he's like, okay, well, now you're so good that you're actually gonna do this.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh. And I don't know, was that his... I felt like he was kind of like, okay, I'll do it, but he's also kind of like... His true goal was to, like, make it so that they could actually... You know, like, the kids could do it. And then he was like, okay, well...
Yeah. When he first came on board, he assumed that he was going to do the mission.
Right.
But
then he
like,
resigned himself to being the teacher, but then when he proved it could be done, I think by that point, he didn't know if he was going to be... You know, flying.
And also their timeline got shortened, so they became like way more desperate.
So I think they were like, okay, well now he's like, okay, well you're gonna fly, and he was like, okay. I think he went first though was maybe like, wait, what? Because it's like you said at first we wanted to fly it, and then he was like, okay, I'll teach it, and then he's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll fly it and teach it. And he picks as his like guy, Rooster, wingman. So very cool.
Great moment.
What'd you think about the moment where like? That's a thing that like he keeps doing in this film, and the other one is where he's like, talk to me, Goose, and like his son does that.
Loved it.
Which I was like, okay, so I guess like that's something that like both of them do, but they never talked about it.
Very touching stuff to me.
I thought that was a little too close to like the stuff in the bar where it was kind of like...
It was borderline.
I didn't think it was bad. I just thought it was... It could definitely be that case, because it was like... I mean, I could see it from both perspectives. It's kind of weird how they both were pretty much say the exact same thing. They're like, talk to me, Dad. Talk to me, Goose. It's like,
I just think, when that happens, when I've watched this movie, I'm so into it. I'm like, everything is working. I'm like, yeah, talk to him, Goose. Talk to him. Like, it just gets me.
Good stuff.
I think the actual mission was awesome. Like it was super intense. It was just like it's so exciting.
Yeah, that was like double Death Star.
Yeah,
because they like have to run it twice essentially, and
they have to pull off like multiple miracles.
Yeah, they have to like blow up something, and then they have to like throw another missile down there to blow it up even more or something. It's like, okay, why don't they just make a bomb big enough for one?
For plot reasons.
Yeah. So, which I was completely shocked that like they don't do a thing where they were like, and somebody fucking, bites it along the way or something. It was like perfect execution.
So I wanted to tell you, when I first saw this movie, I was so in that I thought that Maverick died at the moment where he gets shot down.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I can't believe they killed Maverick and that's how this movie's going to end. Oh no! And then like, there's a whole nother action set piece after that, which was like a bonus movie for me. And I was like, dude, this is just so great. It's like, but that moment worked for me. I was like, I can't believe that Maverick died. No. Maybe I'm a basic bitch, but I was totally played by this movie.
Yeah, I think that's pretty. I could totally see how, like, I think maybe I'm too. I don't know. I see the patterns all the time when I watch these
I usually
films
feel the same way.
That I didn't know, but it's like, dude, there's no way they're gonna fucking kill Tom Cruise in this film. Like, if they killed Tom Cruise, I'd be like, holy shit, but at the same time, they're not gonna do it, and they didn't, which I wasn't like, I was like, oh, I saw that shit coming, but at the same time, I'm also like, okay, there's no way that they're just gonna let him fucking blow up like that or something. Like, at least, like, while I was watching it, at least, I didn't feel that way.
But did you like the little mini adventure that Maverick and Rooster
It was like Behind Enemy Lines.
Yeah.
The mini movie.
It was cool.
And then, like, they almost got fucking destroyed by, like, that chopper gunner or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And then at the end, they're all out of missiles and all out of flares and chaff and all that stuff.
Chaff, yeah.
Only to be saved at the last moment.
Yeah.
By the hangman.
That fucking guy.
Another fist pump moment.
Yeah, that was a legit thing there at the end. I was like, holy shit. Dude, when they steal that fucking plane,
it was awesome.
Cracking up. I was like, dude, this is the goofiest shit ever, but it was so funny because they were like, he's like, I don't know what any of this shit does. He's like, what's the signal mean? He's like, I don't know. And I was like, that was like a mini fucking goofy movie.
It stretched credibility a little bit, but I don't care. I
mean, that's all these movies.
It's fun.
These movies are bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're not credible at all as far as any of this kind of stuff goes, that all these dudes would go in here and be like completely unharmed. But, it's like you're watching like a Rocky or Karate Kid movie, so it's like, it's for fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, the shit's for fun. Movies usually are for homework. So, but Tom Cruise and Rooster and Maverick are so good in the plane that they're able to like pretty much destroy some 5th gen fighters in like an old F-14. It's like, holy shit. So, like you said, they're
one thing when they're like, we're not going to be successful against next gen fighters. I was like, why don't we have next gen fighters? Like, that's to me that's a bigger problem than anything else. Like,
well, like the
Maverick should have the best
the
technology.
5th gen fighters or whatever. Like, yeah, there's definitely stuff in this movie where I'm like,
plot contrivances.
I was like, okay, it makes sense to not like, why not to really say anything about like who the enemy is, but like when we're talking about like different generations and like what generation is an F-14 compared to a 5th gen fighter, like what are we fucking talking about here? Like, how much larger of a gap is this? Are we talking like jet fighters versus like a fucking prop plane? Like, what's going on here? And like you said, like, I think the bigger issue we have here is like, how did we have our thumbs up our asses sitting down doing nothing for so long that they're up to a 5th gen? Like, how far away is that from like what they have?
And the nuke factory is going to be done in like a few days. Like,
yeah, like, holy fuck!
Like, where's the intel?
They made a fucking nuke factory in like fucking 2 days. It was like... And by the way, actually, it was supposed to be done like in 3 weeks, and then like, oh shit, actually they're so good that they chopped a week off of it, of a nuke factory. Like, what?
They're ahead of schedule.
Yeah, they're ahead of schedule, and they've got 5th gen fighters.
Yeah. But then the end of this movie is Tom Cruise and Jennifer Connelly flying off into the sunset. Yeah. And that was actually Tom Cruise flying his real plane. Nice. Like, that's his plane that he owns.
They're on a 10th gen fighter. He's like, I should have brought this shit. Dude, they should have brought... You know what would have been cool was if his wingman came in at the end with the fucking... what's it called? Black Star? That he flew at the beginning.
Oh, yeah. And
fucking just cut the dude in half with the plane.
Should have unleashed some attack birds.
Yeah. They're like... Well, I guess when birds fly, they don't just do that with their fucking tips. They go like that. They're like... They're like, what the fuck?
I heard a fan theory about this movie I wanted to run by you.
Oh, yeah?
I know you love fan theories.
This guy, Matt.
I think it's a cool theory. Or just something fun to think about. But that Maverick actually dies at the beginning of this movie when he crashes the stealth plane.
And everything.
And the rest of it is like, he's in limbo, and he has to basically make amends for doing right by Goose's son in order to go to heaven. So at the end of the movie, he's flying off into heaven because he accomplished his mission.
He's flying off into heaven with someone else.
They're like, help me!
So it's like all dogs go to heaven. Like he comes back to Earth to like as like a ghost, or
no? Everything that happens after that didn't really happen. It's all in his mind. Like it's playing out in his.
It's like
dying imagination.
Fucking what's it called? Carnival of Souls or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say that about any fucking film, honestly.
It's definitely a trope, but
it's
fun to think about.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what happened to Goose, right?
No, he just ragdolled.
Oh, yeah. He tried to go to heaven and they sent him to hell. Yeah, I don't know, man. Where'd you hear that?
Hey, it could happen. Make world.
IMDb or some shit?
I'm sure some podcast.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard that before. But then again, it's not like I really was ever looking up stuff about Top Gun until last week or whatever. What about the special features on Top Gun 1? Anything interesting?
Yeah, they had a bunch of stuff.
Like I said, Top Gun 1. Don't look at that one ever.
Yeah, this is stacked. Danger Zone, making of Top Gun, a 6-part documentary.
Jesus.
Legacy of Top Gun.
Do you remember anything specific from that one that was any good, or?
Not really.
The commentary.
The commentary by naval experts was cool. And they were definitely honest about pointing out all the bullshit. But I think they got that it's a movie. It's not going to have to be 100% accurate. But I remember it being very kind of dry.
Dry, yeah. I was on the fence about possibly, like, I was like, maybe I'll get it and listen to the commentary, but I read online, like, somebody was like, this is one of the worst commentaries, it's pretty boring.
It is informative for sure, but I could see it, when people start getting heavy into technical information, it can be kind of boring sometimes.
Like, what were they saying that was bullshit?
I don't remember.
You're like, nothing, it was all great. And then anything on the sequel, or just kind of...
some good, like, making of stuff, no commentary, though.
Yep, that sucks. No commentary.
It's really cool because they went into how they filmed the actors in actual planes and all the training they had to go through, and I always like watching that kind of stuff.
Tom Cruise ever do a commentary for anything, or he generally like Johnny Depp where he just goes to the next film?
I don't know. I remember on Vanilla Sky, the director called him on his cell phone during the commentary, and he actually answered, and they talked for a while. That was cool.
That's pretty legit.
Yeah. Because he's like, I know Tom Cruise would never do a commentary, so I'm just going to cold call him right now and hope he answers. And he did.
Wow. What's he say? Is he laughing? Like, ah.
Yeah. He was a good sport about it. Vanilla Sky.
He's like, there's no tenderness. They all sing to him on the phone. And he like marries the fucking guy.
You've lost that Maverick feeling.
Yeah, it's like, huh. So this is pretty much the end of Maverick and Top Gun, I would assume, right?
Wrong. They're making another one.
Are they?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, but if it's as good as the last one, I say bring it on, dude.
What's it called? Do they have a name for it yet, or just Top Gun bullshit or something? Or not bullshit, but Top Gun Attack Birds.
Bird Strike. Iceman's Revenge.
Rooster. Maybe it'll be about the son or whatever.
Yeah.
Or the Father, or the Holy Ghost. The man that I admire the most.
But I mean, that movie was so huge. Yeah. They were going to be printing money by making another one. So
it's same people, surprised. I guess. Like Tom Cruise is going to be in it, I wonder. Or... Mm-hmm. Oh wow. Huh.
Yeah. Bring it on, man.
Yeah.
Nothing can go wrong now.
As long as they have Tom Cruise and like the same director and writer and everything.
At some point, Tom Cruise is going to have to start like going into older roles, but he's not quite there yet.
Right.
Can still pull off a hotshot pilot.
Yeah, I mean, look at Clint Eastwood. Like, he's still making movies in his 90s, and it's ridiculously. I mean, some of his movies that he did, like when he was older, is pretty good. Like what's that one movie where he tells people to get off his lawn or whatever?
Gran Torino?
Yeah. The movie was good until the end when he sang, and I was
then it became great.
I was like, this is horrible.
My Gran Torino.
I was like, this movie just went from like a fucking 7 to a 2. It was just so weird. I was like, oh.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great song.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right, Top Gun week. That was fun.
Yeah, it was.
I'm going to give Top Gun a 6 point. I'll go 7. It meets my acceptable level.
You're like,
7.95. And Top Gun Maverick, 9.95.
Nice. Yeah, I'll probably do like a 7.95 for... Actually, no, I'm going to do Top Gun as like a 6.95.
Cool.
And Maverick is... I'm trying to think if there's anything I didn't like in it, honestly. I thought it was pretty good all around. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 9.95 because there wasn't anything to think of that pissed me off.
Put it on the poster.
Yeah. There wasn't anything I mean, that's pretty much if I think of anything, I'm like, was this a good film? Was this anything in this I didn't like? Was there anything that... Like, there weren't any slow parts in it from what I can remember, so...
Oh.
So...
I'm just pissed I paid for a whole seat, but all I needed was the edge.
Dude, fucking Christ. Fuck that.
Works every time.
Movie's got a 0. Top Gun Maverick, 0. Fuck it.
Buddy Shotz co-host, 0.
You just got a 0 for that shit. No, it's good stuff.
Cool.
Thank you, me.
Yeah, it was great. I'm glad.
I don't know. I keep forgetting I picked these films.
Did you really?
No, I guess you did.
You have a third
party
picker?
Also at the end of the Maverick, it says "In memory of Tony Scott."
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I was like, oh, nice.
Very nice little touch there.
I was like, who's that?
I'm like, I don't know him. Do you know him? All right, ready to talk about next week's episode?
I'm like, no.
All right.
No, go for
Goodbye.
it.
We're going to do a movie I've never seen, so it could be hit or miss. You know how that's been working out.
Yeah, that's what I did this week. But you had seen him, so I guess that worked.
Warriors of Virtue.
Oh, I've heard of this.
You heard about this?
Yep.
I wasn't sure if you'd seen it or had heard of it.
I've heard of it before, yeah.
I've heard of it from time to time. Don't know too much about it.
Yeah.
But it seems like it could be right up our alley.
From what I remember, it's like a kid's movie or something.
Kids movie about kangaroos?
Yeah, it's like
magical
kangaroos or something.
And then to pair it with Weird Watches, watch the pilot for Alf.
Okay.
It's going to be Varmint Week.
Varmint Week.
Just watch a movie about some kangaroos and some Alfs.
So Alf's an alien then, right?
He's also the varmint in my mind.
Let's call it Stretch Week.
A little bit. I wasn't sure if the Warriors of Virtue were aliens or not.
I actually never really watched Alf back in the day.
Oh, we watched Alf back in the day. Wouldn't miss an episode.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it since I was a little kid. We'll see if it holds up.
Yeah. I heard it wasn't really for kids back in the day or something. It was like kind of like a sitcom, like adult.
I think it was for all ages. Yeah. I think it was funny, but we'll find out in Varmint Week.
In Varmint Week. And then Warriors of Virtue. Hopefully that one's easy to find because I don't really remember.
I think it's
too
out
much
there
about
streaming.
It. Oh, okay.
On Tubi.
So what's your whole idea with Okay, I guess that's the end of that.
I wanted to pick Warriors of Virtue.
Yeah.
And I wanted to. They were both on my list of things I wanted to watch.
Nice.
So
Cool.
A loose connection.
No, I was just wondering because Warriors of Virtue, like, I haven't heard that, like, in forever, so.
I hope it's good.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
Cool.
Until next time.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
You're still dangerous. You could be my buddy anytime. Bullshit!
You could be mine.
Three, two, one.
I don't know why I had my eyes super open. Okay,
ready?
We're good to go. You like to follow your spit.
Ready?
Mm-hmm. Dude, holy f- If you smell...
Fuck. It's like drooping.
Are you fucking drooping?
Alright, this looks good. I wish I could get it so it would go straight up. That's what I'm kind of trying to do.
Oh.
Ah, shit.
It went like nowhere.
I know. Gloria's like, there's a killer in here. Jesus. There's a killer in here. He's like, you! Why don't we do this in like one-on-ones? Or like, I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah.
Action!
Austin Powers. I'm like,
Yeah, baby!
I'm like, bring on the sexy
Shag it down.
Tomcats, baby, yeah.
More time to say bullshit Yakuza. Just for fun. Shit too, baby.
Bullshit, Yakuza. Tiga's gonna kill me tonight with his 10 major acronyms. Bullshit. You could be mine.
9.95. Emotion and feeling so high. 9.95. In overdrive. Put your body in overdrive. 9.95.